Um, it's a lot of just staying in your own mind and just kind of focusing on what you're doing and nothing else, just hole by hole.
The morning air was thick with anticipation, but nobody could have predicted what was about to unfold. Charlie Woods stepped onto the first tee box that day, carrying more than just his golf bag. He carried the weight of a legendary surname, the hopes of millions, and apparently, a game plan that would set the entire golfing community on fire. Most observers expected a textbook performance. Charlie had built his reputation on precision, not theatrics. His practice sessions revealed nothing unusual. Standard warm-up routine, familiar clubs, the same measured breathing exercises he'd done 100 times before. Golf insiders predicted a safe top 10 finish, maybe cracking the top 5 if the stars aligned. Nobody was prepared for revolution. But within the first 18 minutes of competition, whispers began circulating among the caddies. Something was off. Or perhaps, something was very deliberately on. Hole number 2 provided the first clue that this wouldn't be an ordinary round. Facing a classic risk-reward scenario, Charlie ignored every principle of conservative tournament play. Where wisdom dictated caution, he chose chaos. Where experience suggested patience, he demanded action. His club selection alone sent shockwaves through the veteran caddies watching from the sidelines. "That's not the shot," one weathered caddy muttered to another, shaking his head. "That's not even close to the shot." But Charlie wasn't consulting the playbook everyone else was reading. He was writing his own, live, in front of thousands of confused spectators. The pattern continued. Each hole brought another head-scratching decision. His pre-shot routine, normally a study in deliberate preparation, had transformed into something almost instinctive, raw, unfiltered. Golf purists began shifting uncomfortably in their seats. This wasn't just bold golf. This was borderline defiant golf. The 13th hole will be remembered for years, dissected in golf academies and debated in country club bars long after this tournament fades from memory. Faced with 220 yards of risk over shimmering water to a pin position that screamed, "Don't even think about it," every conventional instinct begged for the safe play. His caddy reached for the wedge, the smart weapon, the percentage play. Charlie's eyes never left the flag. "3 wood," he said quietly. There was a pause, a moment where time seemed to suspend itself. The caddy's hand hovered over the bag, processing what he'd just heard. This wasn't a request. It was a declaration. The swing that followed defied logic and physics in equal measure. The ball launched with terrifying commitment, riding a trajectory that appeared suicidal for the first 3 seconds of flight. Gasps rippled through the gallery. Someone's phone clattered to the ground, forgotten in the tension. Then physics remembered it was on Charlie's side that day. The ball caught an invisible current, rode it like a surfer catching the perfect wave, and settled onto the green with impossible grace. 15 feet from glory. The explosion of cheers was matched only by the explosion of controversy in the commentary booth. By the 15th hole, social media had fractured into warring camps. #fearless. Charlie trended alongside #reckless Charlie. Think pieces were being drafted in real time. Golf's old guard clutched their pearls while younger fans celebrated what they saw as liberation from golf's suffocating conservatism. But here's what made the entire spectacle genuinely profound. Nobody could deny the execution. This wasn't reckless abandon crashing into predictable disaster. This was calculated chaos producing legitimate results. Charlie was living on golf's razor edge and somehow not bleeding. His playing partners didn't know whether to admire him or stage an intervention. The scoreboard couldn't capture what was really happening because what was happening transcended scores. Just when the golf world thought it couldn't get more intense, Jack Nicklaus added fuel to an already raging fire. But the Golden Bear didn't add celebration. He added caution wrapped in hard-earned wisdom. Nicklaus knows something most people don't. The most dangerous moment in a young golfer's career isn't failure, it's viral success. "The spotlight doesn't just illuminate," Nicklaus said in a statement that immediately went global. "It burns. And young talent, no matter how exceptional, isn't fireproof." He wasn't speaking theoretically. Nicklaus was speaking from scars. His own son Gary had been crowned the next Nicklaus at 16 by Sports Illustrated. That cover, meant as celebration, became a prison. The pressure didn't build Gary's game, it dismantled it piece by piece until stepping away was the only path to sanity. Charlie has immense talent, Nicklaus continued. But talent is just the entry fee to this game. Surviving what comes with that talent? That's the real test. In our modern era, where a single swing can generate 10 million views before the ball stops rolling, where every facial expression gets analyzed by AI and amateurs alike, the psychological warfare has intensified beyond anything previous generations faced. Gary Nicklaus dealt with magazine covers and television segments. Charlie Woods deals with TikTok, Twitter wars, instant memes, and global commentary that never sleeps. Tiger Woods understands this battlefield better than anyone alive. He's walked through the fire and emerged scarred but standing. Now he watches his son approach the same flames, and his philosophy has become clear through his actions. Protection over pressure, passion over perfection. Tiger isn't building another Tiger. He's protecting Charlie's ability to build himself. The tournament selection is strategic. The media exposure is carefully managed. The conversations between father and son remain private, but those who know Tiger say his message is consistent. Love it first, win second. Because Tiger knows what most fans don't. The game will take everything you give it and demand more. The only sustainable fuel for that endless journey is genuine love for the craft, not external validation or living up to someone else's legacy. When Charlie's round finally concluded, his score was competitive, but the number was irrelevant. He'd accomplished something far more significant and dangerous. He'd announced his independence. He'd declared that Charlie Woods would play Charlie Woods' golf, consequence and criticism be damned. The question now isn't whether he played well that day. The question is whether this moment becomes the foundation of a revolutionary career or the first chapter in a cautionary tale. Will coaches pull him back toward safety? Will the weight of constant scrutiny crack the confidence that fueled this performance? Will Tiger's protective approach provide enough shelter for Charlie to develop his identity without being consumed by it? Nobody has these answers yet. But one thing crystallized that day. Charlie Woods is no longer just Tiger's son in the public consciousness. He's his own phenomenon, his own controversy, his own story. And in golf's long, conservative history, that might be the most shocking development of all. Not just that he played aggressively, but that he forced an entire sport to confront its assumptions about how the game should be played and who gets to decide. The tournament will be forgotten, the score will fade. But the conversation Charlie Woods ignited? That's just beginning.